Sam, I thought deeply about it, and even me, if I'm a star and you want me to perform to your thing, okay, where's my award?
That's so no. No way, because if they didn't
I'm
perform,
not doing this for the free unless I'm a new artist.
It's
then,
cool.
and
The
I
free
have to like
pay them.
shuck and jive
The free
for
can't.
you.
I mean,
I have to shuck. If I have to shuck and jive,
shuck and jive.
and do all the
No, there's no shucking and jiving.
I'm not free till we all free. Said I'm not free till we all free. I'm not free till we all free. Said I'm not free till we all free. I'm not free till we all free. Said I'm not free till we all free. I'm not free till we all free. Said I'm not free till we all free. You lock my brother, you lock me. You kill my sister, you kill me. You hurt my neighbor, that's me.
What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 121 of the 30% podcast. A podcast based in East Africa, just south of Ethiopia and Sudan, by the Indian Ocean, to the east of Uganda and bordered by Tanzania to the south.
Gosh.
I go by Afam. My co-host goes by Sam Are, and welcome to this East Africa-based podcast. Sam, how are you?
I'm good. I am good. Wondering what all of that geography lesson was for, but Nico,
It was just for the
joker. I'm tired.
It was for our listeners who are international, who might be wondering where we are based.
Where we're
maybe.
based,
I don't
right?
know.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
You put that's big brain activity.
Next
Big
time
brain
I'll
activity
drop.
from your part.
Next time I'll drop longitudes and
Yeah, we won't be dropping no
latitudes.
longitudes or latitudes. Nope. No. An elevation.
Yeah,
They really made us
elevation.
suffer in high school. And have you ever used any of that
Bro,
stuff? Have you used
contours?
any of
Remember
that stuff?
contours? Sam, remember contours? Those contours used to kill me, man. Like I
man.
used to struggle with them. Oh my goodness.
Some of us got beat off the back of learning that stuff, talking about no, we don't. I don't care. No one cares anymore. There's no longitude and latitude. The only time I see longitude and latitude is on Google Maps, and I don't need to do anything with that information. They're already.
Well, if you play things like GeoGuessr, but you know one thing that was really dope about
GeoGuessr.
like social studies, the things where we had to guess like, okay, there is a chief's camp here, and then there's this town located by a river, and then you have to figure out, okay, what was the economic activity of the inhabitants of this place. That was actually kind of fun. It was like putting together clues. I actually really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
Kinda.
I must have skipped that whole semester because I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh wow. Oh yeah. Sam
Chiefs.
did something differently. Anyway, let me not blow your spot up. You said you're good? What have you been up to?
All right. Tired, life. Not tired of life. I've been sounding depressed on the podcast. I need to change that because people were asking, "Yo, what's up? Are you going through something?" No,
Yeah.
I'm physically tired, but I'm all right. Took a nap earlier in the day, and that just
Good.
taking a nap in the afternoon messes you up. But anyway, so that's that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool. I'm chilling. Recovering from a week of being outside. I need like five years to recover from that. But yeah.
Bro, even me, I've been outside more than usual. Listen, guys, Sam and I are introverts, man. We're not outside like that. It takes a lot of energy away from us. It's so draining. I don't know how people are outside like all the time, man. Me, I cannot live this life, Sam.
People get the energies of other human beings. Like, I want to be where things are being done and just interacting and laughing and dancing and having fun.
I want to create the things.
That's a good way to put it. You're right. We want to be the one creating the things that things are being done to. Yeah, that's
For real. That's just my philosophy, man. I think creation is so well, but not that to be said, like also consumption and just being outside is also nice. Yeah, for me, like Sam said, we've been outside a lot. Yesterday I went to the Komplex event, which was in NSK, Nairobi Street Kitchen. It was also on Parker Road, so they closed off that whole road. And listen, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not really like an unts aficionado. Like I haven't really been to many UNS-based events because it's not really something that I've been too into. But like, yeah, I think it was a good event. Sorry, they had like 3 stages, a bunch of DJs. I was just asking people, okay, who's this DJ? Okay, who's this DJ? And
You were that guy at the show.
Yeah,
Go get a pamphlet.
I was like, okay. I was like, okay, who's this? I was like, there was no program. Okay, there was, but like, who's looking at the program?
You're right.
So yeah, it was a really nicely done event. It rained towards the end.
Because I saw, I don't know whether it was the same day, but then was that when I think there was like, is it the Nairobi Food Week or something like that, where people were just like eating a whole bunch of food? Was it at the same place?
Maybe. I honestly am the worst person to ask, but it wasn't based. I don't think that would have been linked to the event from yesterday.
Okay. My bad.
But yeah, I don't know. It was an interesting experience to experience.
What was the scene like? What was the crowd like? What was? Put us in the middle of that crowd, Afam. Take us there.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I get in there, I check in, anxiety strikes. Because now it's just a bunch of people, and I'm like, okay, first of all, guys, how do you dance? One, I can't dance to save my life, but 2, if I had to, how do you dance to Un's music? I really don't know. So that was one of the things that was like running through my mind. I was like, okay, what am I supposed to do here? You know what I mean? But then, I got to meeting a bunch of people that I know in the industry. So, I go in, and then I'm like, oh, yo, it's so and so, yo. And I met some really dope people who we've even played on the podcast, at the end of the pod. So that was wholesome. The scene, it was very diverse, just like everybody. Like it was a diverse crowd, let's say, would I say it's an older crowd? No, it was, I would say it's kind of older. They weren't like youngins like there, you know what I mean? Like it was a bit of an older crowd.
Really?
I think the older...
That's interesting. I thought that it would be a lot of more younger people in there.
Well, maybe I wasn't paying attention but I feel like the crowd was not like old, but then I mean, it was not young, sorry. But then again, I don't know.
Okay.
My favorite, like, I mean, it looks like, what's his name? DJ Suraj was like a fan favorite. Everyone was like in his set, just vibing out. Like it was packed when he was playing. I think Big Nyags, One Down also played. Shout out to them. And she played, although I missed her set. When I got in, Baby on the Island was playing from Espresso, so shout out to her. Yeah, man, that's the scene. I don't know what else you guys want from me. What do you guys want to know? Tell me.
No, it's good,
DM the podcast and be like, yo, okay, I'm joking. Sam.
Yeah, but
so you mentioned.
So that was that. Where were you going? Were you going to the other shows?
No. Yeah, I was saying you mentioned that you've been outside, hella.
Yeah.
This week. Doing what exactly?
Outside. A couple of things. Let me start from the things that I attended. So on was it Friday? Thursday? Friday? One of those days. Clark Keeng was at Aloy, Westlands Center, and he was performing his.
Wait, it's pronounced Aloy.
Isn't it pronounced Aloy?
Oh. I thought it was just alloy, like metals when you mix them.
Yeah, wait, isn't that what I said? Did I say something different?
You said alloy. Okay, fuck. I'm sorry. I
What are
thought,
we
isn't
doing?
it pronounced? Isn't it
Yo,
pronounced?
we know what I'm talking about. Like, yes, sure, let's pronounce that. So anyway,
Okay.
I don't remember. Dang, what day was that? What day was it? Thursday or Friday?
It was another day over there.
Yeah. that's so East African. Another day over there. Yes, so I was out there. That was interesting. Clark Keeng performed a bunch of his songs. He recently released a EP called One. We all said it was I, but then he told us that it was because of uploading and he wanted to call it the Roman numeral, and so it's actually one instead of I or something like that. And then so it was good. He's actually a very good performer. He's very charismatic. He's very engaging, like with the crowd. And he did everything. Like it was good. His backup singers Zawadi and Zalal. Someone told me I pronounced it wrong, but it's Zalali, I think. Zalali. And then Modest was on the keys. No. Okay, I'm mixing my timelines off. Before he got on, Modest and one of the horns from Hornsphere. Sorry, I can't remember his name, but then one of them was up there and they were just doing they did a set of like R&B songs and a couple of Afrobeat songs when they were just playing, and the crowd seemed to love it. And then Clark came on, his bassist, keyboardist, and backup singers, and then he did his set. That was very, very interesting. It was cool. I like seeing what I like watching his performance. Or rather, I liked watching his performance just because I feel like he performs decently, and he's very engaging. And it's an engaging type of performance. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what he does later on. So yeah, that was that. What else happened?
Then we got invited graciously by Fancy Fingers to his listening party. Well, not listening party. It is just a listening session. And it was at Amp Studios. And what an experience that was. He's releasing a project. I don't think he's publicly released the title of the project, so I'm not going to say what the title is because I'm not sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let this not be an unwelcome exclusive.
Exactly.
Let it not be that.
So
yep.
I'm not going to say what the title of the project is just in case he hasn't released what it's called. But as you guys have seen, he's been rolling out some music. He released the song Maria. He released the song Pokunena with himself and Winyo. Sorry,
both
Winyo
bangers.
is also... Yeah, I just kind of made it sound like it's a Fancy Fingers thing. No, Winyo is like
involved.
literally half of the project. So both of them invited us. And yeah, man, speaking of Unts, in the listening session we were in, there was a bunch of DJs who were present, and got to like talk to a bunch of different, like, usually I'm usually around the producers, you know what I mean? I'm never really usually around the DJs and stuff like that, so still a lot to learn for me as well.
But a lot of those producers were DJs though, so I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. So how did you experience, I mean, without giving too much away of like the project, like how did you experience it? Like what was your like thoughts?
It was good. It was good. Most of it was it's this sound that they're working on, and it felt fresh. It felt very fresh. There were different aspects of it. There was like different layers of this current sound. Which I enjoy. Winyo is a very good vocalist. I think he was telling stories on there, which is very cool. And of course, the production was pretty good. So it's interesting. I guess we'd talk about it more when the project comes out. But yeah, I liked it. I liked it because of. I don't know, man. And I don't know whether we talk about this now, but then it's just there's just a push for more traditional style music, which is very cool. I
want to interject. So you said that it's fresh, and you know what? It's true. It does feel fresh. But the funny thing, or like the juxtaposition, is they're going back to using a bunch of traditional instruments, which used to be of old, like the orutu. and that in turn makes it feel fresh. Like you're using something from long ago and infusing it into music of now, and that makes it feel fresh. I don't know. I find that an interesting concept.
It is interesting. It's because I think as music developed in the country, and we started using more, the DAW started shining, right? The sounds shifted from the traditional recordings to more like sounds we can find on the computers, and so we sort of lost that a bit. But then, at least from what I've heard, there's a bit of an effort to try and bring back that. I don't know whether that merges with the whole Kenyan sound conversation. I think those are two separate conversations, but I think they have something to do with each other. But yeah, it's cool. The guitars throughout the project.
The banger. Yeah.
And of course, Fancy Fingers is incredible. So yeah.
Yeah, bro. Like, listen, you guys, if anything, Fancy Fingers is really, really good as a producer. It's just the sound, like the sound he has, and I guess we can really only talk about Maria and Pokunena. Like, it's very creative in terms of just like infusing all those different elements, like reversing instruments, then also introducing like Indian percussion. But strangely, it works. And then now merging that with like the traditional like Luo instruments, like the Orutu and the Benga guitar and this and that. And then obviously the delivery of the content is primarily in the Luo. And that just, and then, you know, one good thing, because I don't understand Luo, is that, you know, during the listening, you know, either Winyo or Fancy Fingers would kind of outline how they made the song, like how they made the song, when they made the song, and what it's about and what it means. So we got so much context to that project, and honestly, I also don't know if they've announced when it's coming out. So I was just gonna vaguely say I can't wait for it to come out.
Yeah, let's not get ourselves into any sort of trouble here talking about.
I'm not trying to steal something.
I don't even know when I don't even remember when he said it was going to come out. That's the thing. I don't even.
Oh, I know when he said it's gonna come out. Oh. I know. I remember.
Just set yourself on. But no, you guys look.
No, sorry, I was just going to say, you guys look out to that. But Sam, like, so what do you think? Like, do you think we need to, like, start, well, for us in our realm of music, right? Well, you make a lot of, like, EDM.
Everything.
Like, you make everything, but you can make a lot of, like, EDM, that, like, Afro house, like, sound. I do a lot of, like, trap, R&B, like dance stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think we should start like actively seeking to include like traditional instruments and stuff like that in our production?
I don't think it would hurt. I also don't want producers just to start doing it for the sake. Because then where is the meaning in that? It's almost like the conversation of why how there's been a bit of outrage with the rise of Afro house music. Why European producers are, you know, using Kenyan, not just Kenyan, African sounds, you know.
Yeah, but we're Kenyan though.
No, yeah, I'm just saying to make a point. It just feels like, I don't know how it almost, the conversation was, it feels a bit empty, like they're just using the sounds for using sake. We talked about culture having meaning back then, and so I would, for a fact, like if we can incorporate it into different genres, like if we can have some of this African sounds, African instruments, more of the African languages. And since we're speaking about Kenya, we talk about the Kenyan languages and Kenyan, you know, if we can have them in the different genres and incorporate them into like drill and incorporate them into Afro house, like we've been doing, and incorporate them into R&B, and, you know, and maybe then that would definitely be a positive in terms of pushing the culture. But then I don't know whether we should just do it for the sake, because I feel like if we do it for the sake, it might not come out as well. I just don't know. I don't think that was something.
But that might spawn like some really interesting, you know, like how Amapiano has like its core founding well, I'll say principles in terms of like, for those of you listening, Amapiano was primarily birthed off of FL Studio, and there are certain sounds that were indigenous to FL Studio, which is a digital audio workstation.
Yeah.
And those are the sounds that built Amapiano, whether we're talking about the log drum or that one bass that's in morphine. I can't remember what it's called, but everybody who makes Amapiano knows what it is, right? Do you think that us, in like now, let's say, let's just talk about like drill, for example, right? Although drill has been declining, so maybe this could revive it. What if we start it has though, like what if we start like a genre within drill that uses a specific like Kenyan instrument and or something, and then or just like a Kenyan way of doing something, and then that becomes like a sound on its own that's really like, you know, like
I get what you're saying.
That we can leverage to start like a movement and something fresh and something that other people don't really have, you know, other people all over the world, or who they haven't thought about it, you know.
Well, I mean, if we could do that, then let's, right? But can we force it? Like, this is something that you can sit down now, like you are from this week.
You can't force it, yeah.
Yeah. So
but
it's
Sam, I think
out of the culture, I guess. It's just maybe out of the producing culture in South Africa. They've just, what do you call it? They gravitated more towards using those specific sounds, and then that just took off and became like a life of its own. So,
but I don't think it's that. Do you know? Honestly, I don't think it's that complex. I think what happens is like Sam, I think a DJ like Suraj or someone who produces, right? Could do something really like dope, you know, and then they play it in one of their sets, and then all the other DJs who are there are like, wow, that shit is fire. Then they start doing it, and then all of a sudden there's a sound. I think it could be as simple as that. Obviously if the sound is really good.
Are you offering the solution to the question of the Kenyan sound? Is that what you're doing? Are you willing to put your name behind it?
Yeah, and take all the fame. Thank you. Take all the accolades. Yeah. Bring it on. Yeah.
Why not, right?
I created it. Yeah, well, why not? And then there'll be statues and plaques of Afam.
They're not making statues of you, man. I'm sorry. You're not going. No, they're not making any statues of you. Sorry, bro.
Do you guys see how Sam does not believe in my capabilities?
No. We're not doing this. We're not. Do you guys see? Anytime you start with "Do you guys see?" and you start talking to the fans, I know you're on some. Just relax, calm down. Okay.
The only reason I talk to the fan like so much is because they always got my back.
You feel lonely?
Back. Actually, Sam, that's not true, because I think I mentioned this. I talked to a fan who said that I should stop doing this. Or a listener, sorry. A listener who said I should stop trying to like gain sympathy votes. Anyway, yeah, that was an interesting listening experience. And shout out to Winyo and Fancy Fingers for involving us in that. And then we ended up going for another. Listen, the pod boys are outside. We're getting mixy. We're like in the, you know what I mean? We're in the street, the industry streets, just like moving, shaking and baking. You know what I mean, bro? We're out here like, you know what I mean? We're doing it for real. And so
I'm just going to let you go. I'm not even going to say anything. Just go ahead, man.
So Sam hits me up. He's like, bro, you're trying to go to this industry talks at Goethe. I'm like, yo,
and you try to wiggle your way out of it. I'm going to put you on the spot.
No,
say, oh, I'm tired.
Listen, the thing is, because bro, jet lag, all that type of stuff. You know, bro, I'm only human. You know what I mean? So, so Sam puts me on. So I was like, you know what? Let me come through. So we go, and yeah, man, this was an amazing panel put together by Goethe Institute. It was, what do you call it? Moderated. Do you call it moderated?
Moderated.
You say it was moderated.
And curated.
Okay, by Anyiko Owoko. Everyone calls her Anyiko PR. It's like, and I like that.
That's
It's like her brand.
Yeah.
That's such good branding. Like PR. Like you just so whenever someone says PR, Anyiko, you already think of Anyiko. You know what I mean? So, so she was there, and then there was Clue, who's a well-known like producer and sound designer. There was Grace Kahaki, who is a film director and producer. And lastly, on the panel, there was Jim Chuchu, who a lot of people will know from Just a Band. And yeah, man, they had so much insight. They were mostly talking about film and scoring and how to get your music on shows, like things like that are in Netflix and Showmax and
all
just the whole just the whole process behind that, like the publishing behind that, how you can monetize all of that, how you even get into the rooms to do that kind of thing. So yeah, and it was like an hour and a half, and then there was like, you know, there was also like a Q&A section. Did you learn anything new per se, or what were like your key takeaways from the event?
I mean, first of all, I think the show, it was very good. That's something that I think I've mentioned it like a long time ago. I've been wanting to get into film, producing for film. So it was that's really what interested me about going for this. It was informative in terms of the culture behind producing for film. I've not been exposed to that culture as much, and so it was just interesting seeing, like, you know, how they actually go about the mechanics of making music for film and interacting with the different people, down to like just basic things like pricing and all that. Of course, they didn't really mention that, but then they sort of gave like guidelines on how to go about it. So that was fun. Most of the learning came from. Some of the learning came from. First off, before we get there, man, FL needs to run a PR, what do you call it?
Yeah, what does everyone shits on FL, bro. Listen, FL
it's almost like it's
GOAT.
a given, like FL is trash. Do people know that FL is the reason for half the music that we have today?
Bro,
it's crazy.
I mean, even Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar was produced on FL Studio, man. I'm telling you, FL Studio is the... And also, I feel like, I'm not gonna lie, if you're a producer and you're like, oh, like, all like this DAWs, but like, I feel like all the DAWs are as good as any. It just depends on how you use them, you know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
but,
and I think it's Fred again who said that. He was saying, well, he said that recently on a stream with Plaque Boy Max. Sam, do you watch Plaque Boy Max's streams on Twitch?
That's more down your lane. But I like Fred again though, so I might go check it out. I actually like Fred again. I think he's one of my favorite. Is probably my favorite EDM. Him and Bunt are my favorite EDM producers right now. So I might check that out.
Yeah, but you're about to say something.
I was, and what was it? FL. Yeah. So anyway, besides that, it was just interesting seeing. I mean, the questions that were being asked, and of course, there's a question of the Kenyan sound again that came up in terms of in terms of film. It's there's added context there because it's more of like, we know that when you're watching like a BBC documentary. You can already, like Afam, I'm sure by now you can already tell, the soundtrack is playing in your head, the type of soundtrack that they usually do, you know. And it's more like, that's not representative of the actual sound. It just feels like what they...
In Kenya.
Yeah, it feels like what they imagine we play.
So essentially what Sam is outlining is like, you know, they were saying some of the hurdles that they encounter is, you know, you're working with clients, let's say from Netflix or whatever, and they're like, okay, we want you guys to do this score, and then you make something and they're like, okay, yeah, but make it more like Kenyan, you know, want that Kenyan sound.
More, yeah. So what's
and now
that sound?
The question is, what is that sound? Now, the thing is, from their perspective, and by there I mean like the client, like from their perspective, it's their stereotype of what they think is a Kenyan sound or an African sound, and that can be a bit challenging because, you know, our sound is very diverse, one, and two, it's like I'm not trying to just like make this. Sam said something so funny before we recorded. He was like, you know how in the movies, like there's a stereotypic African voice.
Yes.
Like
yeah.
you would have seen this in like Wakanda Forever.
Yeah. And what was the old one? The old Eddie Murphy
Black
coming
Panther,
to America. Coming to America. That
the movie
accent.
for Will Smith. There was a Will Smith movie where he was a doctor, and he was an African doctor from Nigeria, but strangely sounded like he was from South Africa. I don't know.
Did they not do their research? Like who? And those accents don't belong to any single African country. Honestly, it's like a mix of 5 different countries. Like why?
I know.
Why is that a thing? That needs to stop.
It does, right? So yeah. So that's one challenge that they mentioned. But they were all so like they gave me so much like info, because I haven't really gotten into scoring and stuff like that. I think Anyiko mentioned that they will have another talk on the 5th of April, right?
Yeah.
And that one is gonna have like hella people on there, and it's still gonna be music industry related.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Looks like something that even I think she mentioned that Musioka was gonna be there. We've had Musioka on the podcast. If you guys didn't know, if you're new here, go check that out. And he's gonna be on that panel as well. So yeah, man.
It's very informative.
Was there anything else that really stood out to me that from that night? I'm thinking about. I don't know.
You talked during the night. I remember you're talking about how because when you work for like Netflix and them, you relinquish all your rights as a producer, and you were just getting emotional about it.
Yeah. So the thing Sam is saying is. So they explained 2 concepts or like just 2 ways most people are gonna work, or the dynamic you're gonna work as a scorer. And it's either you're gonna be commissioned to do something or you're gonna license your show. So essentially, you can make a show and then license Netflix to use it for a specific duration of time, or you can be commissioned to make a show specifically for Netflix, right?
Yep.
And the difference with that is if Netflix are commissioning you to make something, then they essentially have all the control, really. Like if Jim Chuchu was saying for the show that he did for Netflix, he made like a track list of like 42 or 46 songs. And he has no control over those songs. Essentially, you give away all your rights.
It's work for hire.
Paid to do. Yeah, it's work for hire. You're paid to do that work, and that's it. He said he gets people who email him and DM him and are like, "Yo, when is that song coming out?" But he has no control over that. Obviously, when you're licensing like a show and you have scores in that show, then yes, the producer Clue mentioned, for some of the songs that he's done for platforms like Showmax, he has some percentage in the back end that he's able to keep control of. But the thing that annoys me so much is just how, I don't know, I just don't like the tone. Because Jim Chuchu was mentioning how like these guys, when they make you work for them, it's like they almost don't believe an African can deliver.
Oh,
and
yeah.
There's just
he mentioned, he said, what did he say? Like in this day and age, right? People are still thinking that there are no lights and Wi-Fi in Africa, which is so confusing to me. Like, you guys have the internet. Like, that's,
I know.
Just
and the way he described it was like the dynamic is like, yo, I don't know how to say it in a polite manner, but I just didn't like the way like all these foreign companies kind of like make it seem like they're I don't have the words without being offensive, Sam. But it just makes me so mad. It makes me so mad.
No, but you have to say what you want to say, because I don't know if we all know.
I just think that there should be some belief.
You put on your PR voice. Put on your PR voice. I know you're never saying that thing. You're dying with that.
I learned from the best, Anyiko PR. You know, shout out to you. I just think there should be more. One, belief that Africans can deliver what needs to be delivered, and two,
it's ignorant.
I don't know. It just felt
it's ignorant.
There's ignorance, and it felt like not like slavery. That's a big word.
That's a strong word, but the word you want to say is kind of close to that.
Yeah, it felt like that's kind of the dynamic that happens when these guys are commissioning shows for you. Like, I don't know. It just, for me, something about that didn't sit right with me. But like, I guess that's the business when it comes to film, because I do not know that side of things. But all in all, very informative panel. And you listening right now. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, just saying.
I was going to wrap it up.
No, you will just after this. For producers, going through film is a very, I don't want to put an emphasis on money, but it's a good way to explore art in terms of music, right? And it's also it's lucrative. If you're well connected and all of that, it's very lucrative. With the music scene, with the music for film scene, again, it's because some people were asking, how do we get into film and how do we get into, making music and being artists on some of these projects and also producing? And it was more like, listen, you have to go out and you have to network. And so for that, I guess that's the underlining way to grow as within an industry, is just you have to be outside and network and grow. You can't just sit around and hope for things to come to you, so. But yeah, it's a lucrative, sorry, that was a weird tangent. It's a lucrative way for producers and artists to even session musicians and everything to get into, just making a little bit of money and pushing their art forward. So that was cool. That was interesting, I think.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. So what else is there to talk about? Briefly, Sam and I goofed up. We forgot to mention the Chase Awards that happened. Sometimes conversations be conversationing, and then you just forget that there are certain things that happened. So briefly, we'll just talk about the award show that happened. I believe it was held in Zanzibar, and I think Chase partnered with Johnny Walker, and from what I hear, it was a huge deal. Like, so many people performed. They even got Big Rema to perform. Man, listen, who's getting Rema to perform in 2025? Like, for the cheap, man. Well, not for the cheap, but just in general. Rema feels like he's so exclusive nowadays. If he's doing something, it's like he's doing something. You know what I mean? It looked like it was a big deal. And the biggest news, especially related to this award show, as a Kenyan, would be BN winning the best artist in Eastern Africa, which I think is just like an amazing thing to have happened.
And I think it's accurate.
Who was he going?
Honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying I think it's accurate. It's he's done quite a bit, and he's collaborated with a lot. Well, mostly Tanzania, but then the whole bunch of artists. So his reach has been
some West Africans as well. Don't forget Ira Star.
I was talking about East Africa, but then he's collaborated a lot. So he's been pushing. So I do feel like it's deserved. Just to say.
Yeah, I think it was deserved. Just to go through a few of the awards. So we have Song of the Year went to Titum and Yup, or is it Yupe? Shwalabam. It's
Banger.
from South Africa. That's along Sam's line of music.
That's it was a big song. You didn't hear it?
I probably heard it, but I don't listen to Amapiano actively. No shade. Album of the year went to He Is by Nigerian artist Rema, and it beat out like Ashake, Josie, Amare, Oh, Amare was in the conversation. I really actually respect that. Amare needs more accolades. Okay, just go through this really quickly. I'll go through the ones that I think are interesting. Best music video went to Meji Alabi Rema. The director was Meji Alabi, and the music video is D&D by Rema. So shout out to Meji. And then best, let's see. Best DJ, I don't know if okay. Best DJ went to, maybe somebody might know who the best DJ is, Sam. Do you know all the DJs out there?
I know
but yeah, best DJ went to DJ Mo Green.
Oh, yeah.
From Algeria.
No.
Okay.
I have no idea who that is.
On that note, Pan-African Awards, Best Global African Artist went to Diamond Platnumz. So shout out to him. Best Male Artist went to Rema. Of course, Rema wasn't gonna perform if he wasn't getting a big
and we need to stop
award.
that too. We need to stop this whole trend of giving artists. Now, I'm not saying this is the situation, but then I think it has been the situation in the Grammys and other awards, BET and all the other award ceremonies, where they say, okay, we'll give you an award if you come and perform because they want to boost their ratings. We need to quit that.
Sam, I thought deeply about it, and even me, if I'm a star and you want me to perform to your thing, okay, where's my award?
That's so no. No way, because if they didn't perform,
I'm not doing this for the free unless I'm a new artist.
It's
then
cool.
I have to
pay them.
Shuck and jive
free
for
can't,
you.
I mean,
shuck. If I have to shuck and jive,
and
do all the...
No, there's no shucking and jiving because you can't. It's someone's award. It's an award. Like if you don't, no, because someone deserves it.
You have to
give it to the person who deserves it.
You have to put that Beyonce mentality. I'm only coming to your award show if you're giving me something.
That's the last mentality. I met someone. I met someone when I went for Clark Keeng show. It's so that I speak too much against Beyonce on this podcast, and I was just about to. So
I met guys again. Sam Are speaking.
I think
that is
she's
Sam
talented.
Are speaking against Beyonce. I have all Beyonce, Giselle Knowles Carter.
His PR voice is on again.
And I love your music. Yes, yeah.
You didn't say all her names. That's crazy. Can we move on, please? So, you're losing respect.
Best female artist went to Tyler, not Tyler ICU or anyone else. It was Tyler from South Africa. And then there was the best live performance went to Fally Ipupa. Best producer, some would love this, went to P Prime.
Yeah, man. Bro's been on a rise for years.
Yeah, that's his guy.
That's cool, man.
So like we said, best artist Eastern Africa went to Bien. He beat Diamond Platnumz. He beat Joshua Baraka, who, by the way, it's so cool to see him even included in these lists. Harmonize, Rofan, Mario, Zuchu, and Nandi. So many Tanzanians. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Tanzanians, 1 Ethiopian and 1 Ugandan. And the Kenyan won. Then we had Best Artist Western African Anglophone, Ira Star. Best Artist Francophone went to Josie from Ivory Coast. That should go to Sarafina the Great next year, man. What a year she's having. Best Artist Lusophone went to Chelsea Dinorath from Angola. I'm looking, is there anything else that we would be interested in? No, not really. So yeah, shout out to people at Chase. Looks like it was a great event. Sorry for not including. I know they're so... Sam, the people at Chase Awards, like the people who coordinated it, are so disappointed that the 30% podcast forgot to include them last week. And we apologize. I know they woke up that night and they were like, yo, what is Afam and Sam, or what are Afam and Sam gonna say about our award show, man? Turns out we forgot. But anyway, shout out to them. Is there anything else worth talking about before we get to... Was there something else you wanted to highlight?
Yeah, really just two quick things. One is that MC, so there's mostly emo drama. MCSK have been they have been told not to. They've been barred from collecting royalties. They I guess submitted a petition and it was dismissed, stating that the disputes that they've had with each other for 15 years must go through the copyright tribunal. So Kekobo confirmed that they're not mandated to operate as a CMO and they cannot collect royalties on behalf of artists until, I guess, the person who's supposed to collect it is who it is later on in the future is, appointed. So yeah, that is just brief news, just to know that who is expecting royalties from MCSK, they are not collecting it, then they can't. So again, we'll just continue to watch as this story unfolds because it will keep unfolding. So yeah, do you have any thoughts? At this point, I don't know.
I'm over it. Who cares?
I don't think you'd have any. I didn't think you'd have
honestly,
any thoughts.
All I've said is, if you're in the music industry by now, there are ways to circumvent all this stuff. Who cares about what these guys are doing? They're just wasting time and stealing people's money. We need to be more proactive and find better ways to collect our royalties. That's all I have to say.
True. At the panel that we attended, Jim was also pushing for the idea of having unions and just having more representatives within the creative scene. And I think that might go a long way rather than letting all these guys dictate everything for us, because then we have zero power, and having zero power is not the best place to be with art. You need to have control over almost all aspects, if not all aspects of your art. So that's that.
Now that we're done, is the coast clear? Are we done with MCSK? Because that stuff is so boring to me now. I'm not gonna lie.
Everyone is bored. Everyone is bored over the MCSK talk. It's ridiculous. We're done.
I'm not trying to have
the updates are interesting because this is an important update, right?
Yeah.
But then the updates are just keep updating. But then no more discourse on MCSK. It's fine. And just the CMO and Kekobo in general. We can.
Yeah,
it's relegated.
We can do without it.
It's relegated itself into notifications now. It's just
until they start telling us serious stuff.
We're just going to be giving notifications.
We all decide to occupy MCSK or some funny thing. I don't know. Yeah. Guys, I wanted to talk about this because sometimes in the music, in life, sad things happen, and we lost one of our really big musical people in the country. So unfortunately last week we lost Muro. So a lot of y'all might have been introduced to him and his music through EA Wave, as I was. That's the first time I was even cognizant of Muro. And I'd like to say his involvement in that moment in time, it means a lot to so many people, because a lot of us who are still making music now and who started in that that era of music were really inspired by them. And it's when things like this happen, you maybe involuntarily start to just think about all the things that have happened up till now that have shaped the industry in some way, shape, or form. With Muro's involvement, New Nairobi is a thing, and then the sound is this, and then obviously we know the song that remind me the song that came out with Blinky Bill. Showdown, that had Kiwango and Muro, and it just seeing them on that stage and everything, the thing is, I only also I want to say I was lucky to work with him on a song on his first tape, but the thing is, I only really ever experienced him musically, and there's so much to people than just what they do. And so I know this loss hits hard for the people who knew him beyond just the music and everything. But for us, we just want to say, like, what a musical like inspiration he was for this era, of artists. And yeah, we do hope that during this like difficult time, his family, his close friends, and the people who listened to his music and really resonated with him, like, find some peace and, at least, I don't know.
Think about
it's difficult.
The positive and the good moments they had with him while he was
For
around.
sure.
Life is short, man. Life is short. It's just good to keep that in mind as you live,
man.
because you don't know.
It is.
Yeah, sad. It's sad. I don't want to harp on it any longer. But
I know.
yeah.
But I mean, outside looking in, Muro did seem like somebody who lived life to the fullest and stuff. Like, he looked like he was very active and doing a lot of stuff and, living life. So, he lived life. He lived his life and he did like dope shit. And we'll always remember him, and he'll always be memorialized with the music that's online. And we're always going to remember him. So, may he rest in peace, man.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Well, was there any new music that you would like to... Oh, wait. Before we even get into that, I just want to give a brief shout out to Mr. Luya Heat Charisma for securing a tour across Australia. I believe the tour is scheduled for May, and I think he's going to have like 3 dates. 2nd May, he's going to be in Perth. 3rd May, he's going to be in Melbourne. 4th May, he's going to be in Sydney. Just want to say that's pretty cool. I'm pretty sure there must be like some Kenyan diaspora force like handling things in Australia, because we've seen so many people start touring there. Ben Soul, for example. I believe we even saw was it Sosa the Prodigy or something? That was scheduled. Well, there were a bunch of urban tone artists who were scheduled to also tour in Australia.
I remember that, yes.
Yeah, so I don't know, it wasn't Sosa. I think it was Tipsy G, my bad, who was scheduled to tour in Australia and stuff. So I think even Furthermore went to Australia last year. So, bro, it looks like it's becoming a really dope pathway. So I don't really know too much about the people who are involved in that. I know they're Kenyans. Shout out to them, because it's really doing a lot for our artists to take them into like different markets and have them play their music there. So shout out to them. Shout out to Charisma. Let's get right into new music, Sam. What did you listen to?
What did I listen to? Not much this week, I'll be honest with you, but some songs were released. I listened to, first off, Kali Cartel. And I think that was the first thing I went to. Kali Cartel, Calligraph Jones, this Kali Cartel 5 rather. He dropped this recently, He dropped Kali Cartel recently. He dropped the video for it as well. And it features Rionga, features Jack Quill, Abbas Kubaf, Fresh Like Max Cortez, and Diana Cords, and of course Calligraph himself. So produced by Vince on the beat. This is the next.
By the way.
Yeah, by the way, very important. Don't forget the by the way. So yeah, man, I know a few people who really enjoy this, and I like what he's doing to try and rap with the rest of East Africa.
Those people, including you, Sam. I'm sure you enjoyed this release.
Afam. You know what? Let me not.
I know what you're about to say. I know exactly what you're about to say. Wow,
ruin it for you.
But you have so much restraint. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So no, it was I was saying that it's good that he's rapping with the rest of East Africa. The other versions of the Kali Cartel, or rather the other ones, have been Well, has there been? I don't know if you've been paying attention, but then has he included like other artists from other countries, or has it just been Kenya? Because I feel like it's mostly been
I am gonna
Kenyan
just
rappers.
come out and say I am not an aficionado on Calligraph's career, so I am the wrong person to ask, unfortunately. But I have a feeling most of the previous Kali cartels were mostly like Kenyan based, but I wouldn't know for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's just cool. He's including the rest of Africa, and some of them killed it. So shout out to him and what he's doing.
The ones that killed it for me, I really liked the TZ guy, Fresh Like right? And then I also liked the Ugandan guy, but especially when he started doing the Buganda like rap stuff. That was hard.
Yeah.
For me, those are my faves.
Cool. Yeah. So that was that. That was interesting. Go check that out. Viri the Storyteller popped out and he released Hujawai Nipenda. It's an R&B style track. And it's good to get some new Viri music. Who else? Mao from Nowhere. And I really don't know how to pronounce this. It's Hi. So is that Hihi or Hi? Hihi. Yeah, they dropped a little project called
It's Michael Jackson.
Oh, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Oh goodness.
Wait, you don't think Michael Jackson like
It's not MJ. It's not. He didn't know.
Okay.
No.
Sorry.
Okay, getting back on track. And why would you just blurt that out? Like, anyway, pre-pack. It's called the pre-pack. 4 songs on there. A little bit some experimental music, some rapping, and I think number 3, Slowly Fast, is really what we know Mao. 3 and 4 really we know Mao for doing. So
yeah. Serious question. Do you think there's gonna be a pack and then a post-pack?
All right. See what we're doing now is you're not going to be making little comments about people's EPs because then they're going to feel like you're taking shots at them. People are sensitive.
I'm not. I'm genuinely asking because that would be a dope idea to have a trilogy of a project.
A pre-pack, the pack itself, and then the post-pack. So the main one will just be called pack.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I would do it.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, maybe. Hey, listen. Write an email. Email them. Email in. Who else released? New Funk still ain't free. New Funk stays dropping. So that's that. What else, man?
The influence of EA Wave. The influence of EA Wave still releasing music.
Sorry. Yeah, for sure. She's a 10, which is an interesting title. She's a 10 by Fadili Itulia. Am I pronouncing that right? Itulia. So that was cool. I've been wanting to hear Fadili release more music. So it's good to see him. Hopefully he'll be more consistent. If I'm being honest with you, that for the most part was the extent of my listens. I need to do more listening. I have until Friday Friday this week to get through all of them. But yeah.
So I listened to Kahauna by Jofes X-Ray and Father Mo. I listened to Bestie by Kelechi Africana and Iviona.
I think that was part of a project. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. Because there was also another song with Ndovuku that I listened to. I listened to The Report by Asam and Mali the Sagi or Seiji. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. There was More Love by Kafi. Genesis, Be Mellow, and Slumberland. That's kind of like the new school of artists producing some stuff. There was that's all I listened to, Sam.
Cool. Hey, we did our best. We did our best this week, and our best.
Tulijaribu.
Yeah, but for the play, Afam was out. For the play, for this week's pick, Afam was out there, bobbing his head.
Unsing. I was unsing it with the best of the unsers. You know what I mean? I was unsing. My shoulders were unsing.
I don't like that. I don't know why. I don't like how that sounds. It just doesn't sound great.
Okay, pause. Okay. I'm sorry. Did you want me to pause or something? I was like, what?
No.
Anyway, Sam,
Keep it going.
continue, please.
Let's keep it going. No, that's on you now. That's on your record. Yeah, so he was out there, and so in line with that, I guess we'll play. There was a whole bunch of Nesmbu released a few songs. I saw a couple of other artists release some Afro house tracks. So I think we'll do an Afro house track this week, and we will be going to Aahil, Dylan S, and Cordoban. And they released a song called Rattlesnake. We'll be playing the radio edit. But yeah, I just really enjoyed it. It sounds good. I think that's what I'm going to say.
No, it does. It's the like
Sonically.
literally. I turned it on, and in the first 10 seconds, I was like, "This is a good mix."
Yeah.
I already knew, like, this is gonna sound good, and it didn't like disappoint.
Yeah.
It delivered 100%.
Yeah.
What a song! What a track! I don't even listen to like house EDM music like this. I listen to that and it's just like, yeah, we have to play this. We have to put them on.
Yeah. So we're going to play this week on the podcast. We're going to play Aahil. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Dylan S and Cordoban with Rattlesnake. That was Rattlesnake, Dylan S, Cordoban, and Aahil. Just a fire tracks, like brilliant choice of instruments. It's Afro House, man. What do you want? Sounds very good. So shout out to them, and shout out to the Afro House scene too. Like it's
bubbling. It's
bubbling.
It's bubbling.
Yeah.
In the words of Mandy, bubbly. So hey, listen, man. Bro, this end of the podcast, I've been in a silly, goofy mood. What's wrong with me? Anyway, yeah,
bubbly. All right, man. But that's
genuinely, there's something in the water right now. No shout out to Pharrell, but looks like this is gonna be a wave. It's gonna be a movement. So if you're a producer out there, man, I might consider trying to get into that stuff because looks like it's gonna be very lucrative.
Yep.
Guys, shout out to you guys for listening to this podcast as usual. That was episode 121. If you're somebody who's listening to this podcast for like the first time, if you're already here, you know I like to do 3 C's that I cooked up in my mind. And these are kind of like guidelines I like to use to kind of help me in my journey as a creative. Also, guys, I'd like to mention here at the end of the podcast, I should have said this at the beginning. Anyway, I've begun rolling out my EP. I'm releasing music. Yay, woohoo, claps everywhere. So I'm releasing an EP. So guys, listen, I need you all to support the boy.
Support the boy, please. Support the boy.
I'm really putting myself outside here, but I'm really bearing my soul for the world to see. So guys, listen, spare a penny and just,
Well, I mean, in the age of streaming, that penny has probably already been spared. So just wait for it to come out and then stream it.
Yeah. But anyway,
I'll throw you on my what do you call it? My streaming farm playlist that I just keep running.
Thank
overnight.
You. Is it based? Where is it based?
What do you mean? I'm here.
Oh, sorry. Let me not blow up your streaming farm operation. But anyway, the only reason I'm reminded of that is because, as a creative, you need to get into the habit of releasing music. And so the first thing that's always going to help you is confidence. You need to be confident about your music. You need to be like, yo, my music is the best music out there and you all need to listen to it because I'm great. Now, don't use those words because unless you're Kanye West, although people are over him, people are going to hate you for saying that. So you have to figure out a way to be confident about your stuff. Always be confident.
Not to cut you, but I think it's more people than Kanye West. I feel Kanye West takes the what do you call it? It takes a negative PR, but then so many artists do that. It's like it's part of anyway. Sorry, don't want to interrupt you.
So
Please.
Be confident about your says that as he interrupts the 3 C's. Thanks. That was so spicy from me. I'm sorry. Consistency. You guys need to be consistent with the creation of your art as well as its release or distribution. You want to be consistent because in this age where everyone is making something, it's easy to get lost in the kerfuffle and just the deluge of art. And lastly, craft. Always work on your craft. Every day, spare 5 minutes. If you only have 5 minutes in your day to work on your craft, then do that. At the end of the year, it's gonna pay off. So those are the 3 C's. Sam.
Yep. So just one thing that is something that I feel like I've known, but then you just keep realizing it's one of those revelations, and it aligns with what you've been talking about with the C's, because I think as artists, one of the things that really stops us from creating and moving forward is anxiety, and a lot of times we feel like the opposite of anxiety is not being anxious. But then I've seen a lot of people online, I guess, talk about the opposite of anxiety being motion and just doing the thing. And that's how you sort of get over it, rather than, because if anything apart from motion is bad because it just creates an environment for anxiety to breed, and anxiety in different forms. But as creatives, I think that's one of the things that really stops, and I'm speaking for myself here, one of the things that really stops us from moving forward is just being anxious and overly thoughtful about what we're doing. The opposite of that is just getting things done and moving, and don't always operate from the 100% yes or no, meaning that you have to get it right, or you have to get it right on the first try, or you don't want to do it at all. Most things are forged from learning on the job. So yeah, man, as you think about the 3 C's, think about getting there just enough of a structure. Just keep moving, keep doing, and that's going to get you to where you need to be faster than sitting around weighing wheel. Does that make any sense?
With those words that make all the sense in the world, we want to tell you guys goodbye, and that we will be seeing you on episode 122.
Yes. Bye.